Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. This will be a campaign update. This will be 2 weeks worth of campaign updates. I never got around last week to filming that one's update. So where we last left off, the party was adventuring through the dungeon. They came up in the tower and they took out the goblin guards, the hobgoblins in that area. They knew where this tower is located based on their last trip in the town, so they know where they're at compared to the town. They then head to the town at the beginning of this adventure, that session. I don't remember if they scouted first or if they just slowly made their way to the town. Either way, they knew how to get there, so it's not a big issue. It's just whether they would have seen or fought anything along the way. They come to a scene where there's a bunch of slaughtered caravan people, and these are unrelated to the group that the party was with, so this is a new group that's been taken. And those merchants are dead. It looks like their hearts had been removed, and the guards as well. The ogre that the party had befriended is lying chained to the center of the town square, and its heart has just been removed. And they see the goblin priest of Hextor setting that on the altar. The party quickly rushes in to fight. There is one hobgoblin, one bugbear, one ogre, the goblin priest, and a few goblins. The party quickly takes out the bugbear and the ogre, and not necessarily in 1 or 2 turns. They just quickly hit it enough to drop them, and then they split. Some are taking care of the goblin, some are heading to the hobgoblin to take care of it, while the paladin's going straight for the cleric, like I was expecting him to do since he got away last time. So he fights the cleric. The cleric tries to cast some magic on him, and as far as I remember, it doesn't work. And then he kills the goblin. Upon killing the goblin, the hearts on the altar burst into fire, and a minion of Hextor has arrived. It's a armored ape-like, 4-armed ape-like creature with carrying 4 weapons that it's wielding. The party has a little bit of trouble fighting it, but the paladin, because he had just defeated a priest of Hextor, has gained a boon from his deity, and his sword becomes burning and magical. And essentially I gave it to him for as long as his spellcasting modifier is in rounds. So he has that, and that weapon is allowing this first level party to fight something that has a damage reduction to magic. So they fight it, they kill it, but it does take a couple rounds with some impressive criticals from the paladin. And after they kill it, that's where that game session ended. So the next game session is taking place from there. The party's looting everything around. They find a bigger cart. The person that was controlling their cart goes back to it and brings it into town, and they switch their ox into that. And then 2 of the stronger characters, or they rotate out, push their old cart. So the new cart had a bunch of salt, a bunch of wheat, some bolts of cloth, and then just in the general area, for spending about an hour or so scouring the area, they recover lots of coinage. And they take all that with them. They divide up the coins with the dwarves. When they sell some of the stuff in town, they divide that with the dwarves. They also found like 4 different suits of armor, and I told them there was a 10% chance each piece of armor was masterwork. And then there was a 75% chance that if you're of the right type, humanoid or small person, that the armor could fit you, and all these were humanoid, so medium-sized humanoid. And one of the armors fit the dwarf, but it wasn't the armor he wanted. I believe they take that into town and they sell it, but I could be wrong. They'll correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But they spent some time in town purchasing some stuff, getting a little bit of discounts, acquiring some healing items. The court that they have an encounter before they get to town. I forgot about this. They had 2 encounters before they got to town. One person that was on watch. Every night a fog's rolled in, pretty much close to midnight. Well, a figure with wound scars all over it stumbles into the encampment. Its face looks like it's painted similar to a clown, and once it stumbles and sets eyes on him, the person gets to make a will save if they are resistant to sleep, which the only one in it is an elf. So one of his 2 characters gets to make a will save. The DC was 20. He failed, and both of his characters are woken up in the middle of third watch. That the person in third watch overslept a little bit, but wakes up before dawn. They don't find anything missing. They don't find anything out of place. They don't see any tracks from where the creature approached from. And this is the second time the group as a whole has had that happen during somebody's watch. The party then, about 2 days away from town, encounters a destroyed caravan cart. It's headed along the road, but it's headed in a different direction. It was carrying, what was it? It was carrying grain and salt as well. I think that's what I described to them. But it looked like it was crushed. There looks, by the footprints, there looks to have been 6 people. 2 run away from the wagon, and then the rest, the bodies are laying around. They have pierced holes in their armor, and wherever they've been pierced, they see black veins all in the skin. And they see large bird tracks all around this cart. So the party goes and they follow the 2 tracks that went away from this. They find one set dead ends, like just stops, and they don't know where that person or what happened to them specifically. And then they follow another one for about an hour away, and they find a little rock outcropping, like tiny cave, something that would protect you from the wind as long as it wasn't blowing at you. And they find an injured orc there, and she's missing her staff. That whenever they found her staff on the way, and she had a dagger on her belt. They wake her up. No, they don't wake her up. They try to heal her there. So they go back, grab the cleric, bring him up here. They heal her. They try to do something for the poison, but they don't have anything that would be of help. They're also level 1, so it makes sense. They carry her down to the group, and then from there, they all travel to the town. And I think her fever broke in the night. The paladin healed whatever damage she still had, and then her poison wound was slowly healing. She wakes up in the morning and then takes time to pray. She's speaking languages that some of the party doesn't know, which is mostly her class language. And then she can communicate in the party in Orc and in goblin, but she also knows giant. The party talk with her. Her raven's there. I believe there was an interaction with the raven in the party before she woke up. The raven is then, by the time they make it to town, is then sent away again to go guide the orcs to the area that she had summoned. That's why the raven was gone. So there's a hunting party of orcs out in the countryside trying to hunt a creature. She describes it as a lizard with wings. And it was, as the party's guessing at this point, a wyvern. So they bring her to town. They go to the Cord Temple with her, and they want to get the poison cured. So the Cord Temple asks for a donation from the paladin of 50 gold pieces. He pays it, so they hand him a Cure Light Wounds potion, and they cast the cure on her leg. So her poison is now, the damage that you can visually see is now healed. But the poison itself, game-wise, wasn't really affecting her mechanic-wise at that point. The party spends time purchasing things, selling things, dividing money. Now they gather the group of dwarves that they were going to take to the mining village, and they head out on the road. The paladin sees a hooded figure close to him with a scythe, like an old man hooded figure with a scythe. And as he tries to talk to it or ask it questions, it just kind of fades into nothing. This is the second time somebody in the party has seen that figure. One of the watches, they encounter the scarred, painted-faced creature again. And this is definitely a different person, like a different set of characters in the party that encounter it. And they are asleep as well. And I think the dwarves had whatever they had on watch also went to sleep. So the party's trying to guess what this creature is that they keep seeing. But nobody's hurt. Nobody feels different other than they were asleep. And none of their stuff's missing. And I believe that's where we ended. But I could be wrong. We could have had one encounter more than that. If so, I'm sure somebody in the group will comment on the bottom of this video. Well, until we all game again, guys.